Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 4, 1.4.1. Vyasa Uvacha Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirghasutrinam Ruddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavraja Shaunako Bravit Iti Bruvanam Samstuya. The speaking Muninam Dirghasutrinam, the munis who had assembled for a long time for performing sacrifice. Vruddha Kulapati Sutam. Vruddha, the elderly, head of the assembly. Kulapatihi. Kula doesn't mean dynasty, it here means an assembly. Sutam. And to Suta, Bhavruchaha. One who is learned. Shaunako Abravit. So, after Suta Goswami spoke, what was spoken in the previous chapter, Shaunaka Rishi, who was the elderly head of the assembly and who was himself very learned and who was a head of the assembly that had gathered for performing prolonged sacrifices, he spoke. Shaunako Vacha Suta Suta Mahabhaga Vadano Vadatamvara Katham Bhagavatam Punyam Yadaha Bhagavan Shukaha. So Suta Mahabhaga. Oh Suta, you are very fortunate. The repetition indicates ecstasy. Repetition indicates reverence. Vadano Vadatamvara. Vadano, please speak this. Vadatam. Vadatam means those who are capable of speaking. Vara. You are the best among those who are capable of speaking. Katham Bhagavatim Punyam. So Katham is how or, but Katham is story. So here is Katham Bhagavatim Punyam, the pious story of the Bhagavatam. Please recite it. He's saying Yada Aha Bhagavan Shuka, that as it Aha was spoken by Bhagavan Shuka. Just as Shukadev Goswami had spoken it earlier, please speak it now, he's saying. Now, so we are moving from the background discussions which were happening. So there was the overview of the Bhagavatam in the process of, in terms of how the process of devotional services is the topmost process and how it works. That was discussed in the second chapter. And the third chapter discussed the object of devotion, the various incarnations of the Lord, and it indicated also Krishna's supreme position. So now Shaunak Rishi is asking, please speak about the Bhagavatam as it was spoken by Suta Goswami. Kasmin yugi pravrutteyam sthane vakena hetuna kutah sanchoditah Krishna krutavan samhitam munihi. Kasmin yuge pravrutteyam. So in what period? Sthane vakena hetuna. So in what time and what place was it spoken? Kutah sanchoditah Krishna. Sanchodita means inspired by. From where was he inspired? Krutavan samhitam munihi. So now he's talking about two levels of origination of the Bhagavatam. One is in terms of a conversation and the other is in terms of literature. So the Bhagavatam as a conversation took place between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And as a literature, it was composed by Vyasadeva. So here he's asking the second level origination. He says, where did Vyasadeva get the inspiration to compile this? And where and when did he actually do it? So it is said that a wise person has 6 friends. Who, what, when, where, why and how. And these can teach us all a lot. So accordingly, it is said over here that here he learned like this. So similarly here Shaunak Rishi is actually asking where and when. It's a natural human interest. When we hear about some incident, we want to know its location, time and space. That gives us some orientation to grasp it. So if we hear bomb has exploded and we want to know where did it happen, when did it happen, or if we hear that a particular book has won the Nobel Prize in Literature. No, who wrote it? Where was it written? When was it written? So, place and time helps us gain some rooting in grasping the complex reality of this world and in navigating the complexities of this world. तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समदृन्निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तमतिरुन्निद्रो गूढ़ो मूढ़ इवेयते. So here it is, tasya putro mahayogi. Tasya is Vyasadeva, his son was a great yogi, Mahayogi, Samadrun Nirvikalpakaha. He was equipoised towards everyone and he did not have any, he did not see any vikalpas, he did not see any alternatives. So, vikalpa is alternative. Nirvikalpa means not seeing any alternative. That means seeing only one thing. So, he was absorbed in oneness. Ekantamatir unnidro. Was fixed in one reality, his consciousness was fixed, unnidro, beyond ignorance, nidra is ignorance here. And gudho moodha iveyate. He was very deep, unexposed, and he moved around like a fool. So now, sometimes when a speaker asks the question, when a person in the audience asks the question, one of the first questions that comes in the speaker's mind is, how much does the speaker questioner know? That means, at what level should I answer the question? Is the questioner also a seasoned person who knows the fundamentals very well and knows some advanced stuff also, or is the questioner a neophyte and I have to start from the basics? So now Shaunak Rishi is asking a question, where and when did this happen? But then he's also telling that it's not, he's indicating that he's not utterly ignorant about Shukadeva Goswami. He knows. He is the son, the details he's mentioning. He was the son of Vyasadeva, and he was himself an advanced yogi who was fixed in impersonal realization, and he acted as if he was a fool when he was moving around in the world. Drishtva nuyantam rishim atmajam anagnam devyorhya paridadhurna sutasya chitram tadviksha pruchati munau jagadustavasti stri pumbhidanatu sutasya vivikta drushtehe. So this verse describes an incident which is repeatedly cited to demonstrate or to drive home the comparative positions of Shukadeva Goswami and Vyasadeva, Vyasa and Shuka. So it said that Drishtva anuyantam Vishim atmajam apya anagnam. So earlier, while offering obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami had said how when Shuka left home, his father went after him and called him, but only tam vyasa sunum upayami munum muni. So he had said that only the trees responded. That means Vyasa's son did not respond at all to his father's call. He was so utterly detached. Now that same incident's continuation is described here, that as Suta was going away, Vyasa followed him, and then he came to a place where the Rishim was following the Atmacham, his son, Anagnam. Now Suta was completely detached, and Shuka was completely detached, and he was not wearing any clothes, whereas Vyasa was wearing clothes. Devyorhya paridadhurna sutasya chitram. Devyorhya. So the beautiful damsels who were there, Riya, out of shyness, paridadhur, they covered themselves, but nasutasya chitram. But Nasuta can refer to Suta Goswami, but here Suta refers to the son. So when his son had gone, they did not cover themselves. Tadviksha pruchati munau jagadustavasti. On seeing this, he asked them, Munau jagadus. And they replied, Tavasti. In you there is Tripum Vidanatu Sutasya Vivikta Drishte. Tripum, in you there is a differentiation of man and woman. But Natu Sutasya Vivikta Drishte. But his son, he is utterly purified. and he does not see the difference between man and woman. So, women are often so much subjected to wanted and unwanted male attention that they over time develop a conscious or subconscious radar by which they can sense the motivation underlying the male attention. So, for example, if a man is externally sounding very cultured but actually is internally lascivious, then over time certain glances, certain voice intonations, certain double entendres, all these convey, and women also are sharp enough to pick that up. So that way, here these women, they were not just beautiful, but they were shrewd with respect to understanding motivations. And they said that when they saw Vyasa, they saw Shuka, they saw Sutta, they saw that he, there was just no lust in his eyes at all. So just like, when a small infant is there, and then the infant actually drinks milk from the mother's breast, and the mother doesn't feel shy while exposing her breast to an infant. And similarly, when children are very small, children may themselves be unclothed, and they may go to especially when small babies are there or little grown up are there, the children may just walk into their women's chambers, and the woman may also not be properly dressed. They may be just have come from bathing, or they may just be dressing, but the women don't feel shy and they don't feel the need to cover themselves. Nor do the children feel anyway affected by that, because the lust is not entered into the equation only at that time. So, like that, these young women, beautiful damsels who are Devriya, it is said, Devyo, they were beautiful women. They did not feel the need to cover themselves when Sutta went by. When the Sutta of Vyasa, that is Shuka, went by. But when Vyasa himself went, then they saw, now Vyasa was a very respectable person, he was a sage, and now it's not that he had lust within him, but the point was, they felt that he is just that Shukadev Goswami is just like a child, and we need to not bother about anything with him, whereas Vyasadeva is a respectable person, and we need to be careful in the way we deal with him, and that's why they covered themselves. So this example conveys that although Shuka was the son of Vyasa, but still he was actually at a spiritually much more exalted level than Vyasa. So his spiritual level, will be talked about it in various ways. Here it is talked about in terms of utter detachment from the world. And that utter detachment was seen by how not only did he have no lusty desires, but even those observing him did not feel any sense of embarrassment when they saw him. So we will see later that Vyasa himself heard from Shuka, and the Bhagavatam was spoken. Katham alakshitah paurai sampraptah kuru jangalan unmatta mukta jadavat vicharan gajasahavaye. So katham alakshitah paurai. So how was he recognized? Lakshitaha. Lakshan is characteristic, that which helps us to recognize. So katham alakshitaha paurai. How was he recognized by the citizens? Puri is city, so paurai is those who reside in the city. Sampraptah Kurujangalan. When he reached the various provinces, the provinces of Kurujangala, Unmatta Mukha Jadvat. So he act like Unmatta, mad. Mukha one who is dumb. Now the word dumb can mean one who is foolish, or dumb is also one who can't speak. Jadavat. So overall he was acting like a Prabhupada translates as stunted, who was acting like a um, like an unintelligent person. Vicharan Gajasahaviye, when he moved around in Hastinapur. So now it is so in the previous verse it was mentioned that Shuka left his home and went away. So now the question is raised: where did he go and what happened when he went there? So he went to various places, Kuru Jungle provinces. He came to Hastinapur. So how did people receive him over there? That's the question that is being asked by Shanak Rishi. So Katham va Pandave yasya Rajarsher Munina saha Samvadah Sambhutat Yatraisha Satvati Shrutihi Katham va Pandave yasya. So here Pandava, now the word normally it is used to refer to the sons of Pandu, but here it is used in a generic sense to refer to the descendants of Pandu and the one specific descendant, that is Parikshit. So Parikshit is the great grandson now of Pandu, but just as the word Kaurava became a generic reference to refer to the various descendants of Kuru. So similarly here the word Pandava is used in a generic sense to refer to all the descendants and within that specific descendants. So how did his Pandavayasya, that Pandava, that is Parikshit, Rajarsher Munina saha. So how did his Rajarshi meet this Muni? Samvadah Sambhutat. And that's how what made the Samvada possible. Tata. Tata is an affectionate form of address. Prabhupada uses his culture, his translational creativeness to render Tata as a darling. So it's not just a formal academic relationship between Sutta Goswami and Shanak Rishi. There's their teacher-student, but the teacher-student bond was also one of affection, not just of remuneration. I pay you remuneration and teaching. No, it was affection. So his affection is Tata. You see that when we are talking about just technical subjects, even then sometimes a bond is formed between the teacher and the student. But when a subject we discuss is actually close to our heart, that means the closer the subject is to our heart, the closer is the bond that is formed between the speaker and the audience. If somebody is just explaining the instruction how to operate a particular new machine has come in a company, and then the representative of that company is coming and giving a training seminar to educate the employees about how this machine works. That is not really related to the immediately in a personal sense related to the speaker's life or the hearer's life. Of course, if the speaker has passion then for that particular product, and then that speaker's passion may touch some of the hearers' hearts. But if the speaker is say a motivational speaker and a speaker speaks some things from one's own life experiences, and then that creates a greater bond between the speaker and the audience. Greater means not just in intensity but in terms of more of intimacy also. So now when we speak about Krishna, then Krishna is the closest object to our heart as speakers. And when there are sincere seekers, then Krishna is the closest object to their hearts also. And naturally, so when there is the sharing of Krishna between a speaker and an audience, and that is no longer just a formal didactic kind of sharing. It actually leads to the greatest level of intimacy between the two. That it leads to great intimate bonding between the speaker and the hearer. And if the two already have an affectionate relationship, then that affectionate relationship becomes even deeper. So Krishna also refers to Arjuna as Tata. Mm, and that this address comes in the Bhagavad Gita also, and now it is coming here also. So the affectionate relationship between the two. Yatraisha Satvati Shruti. So Satvati Shruti is that which is Satvata is that which is situated in truth. Satta is truth. Satvati is that which is related to the truth. Satvati Shruti. So that literature, which is the topmost truthful literature. So how was it that speaking became possible because of their meeting? So how did the meeting takes place? So go dahan matrena. सह गो दोहन मात्रम ही गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम आवे अवेक्षते महाभागस तीर्थी कुर्वं तदाश्रमम. So here he speaks another feature of Shuka's detachment. He's telling him, so Shukadeva Goswami, earlier he said that he was so detached from women that he did not even see the male-female difference. Now another thing is that specifically the question is raised that how did he speaking the Bhagavatam must have taken some time, and how was such a prolonged meeting between Shuka and Parikshit possible? Because Shuka was famous for not staying at the house of householders for long. Sago dohan matram hi. So as much time as was required for milking a cow, that much of the time, griheshu grahamedhinam, those who are householders and attached to householder life, avikshati, that much time he would wait, mahabhagas, tirthi kurvam tadashramam. And even during that much wait, he would transform their residence into a place of tirtha. So there was this enormous potency by which just by staying at a particular place he would purify that place. That was Shukadeva Goswami for that is a glory for him, all of us to know. But at the same time he would not stay. So if the milk had already been milked, then he would just take the milk and he would leave. But if the milk had not been taken from the cow, then he would just wait for them to give out the milk, for them to get the milk from the cow, and he would honor it and he would leave. So a person who would leave so quickly, how did such a person stay for so long as to speak the Bhagavatam to a person like Parikshit Maharaj? Now, although Parikshit Maharaj was not a Grahamedhi, but still he was in the Grahastha ashram. He was a householder, and Shuka would not spend much time with the Grahasthas. Then further, ninth text, Abhimanyu Sutam Suta Prahur Bhagavatottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grunihinaha. Abhimanyu Sutam Suta. So here the poetic repetition of Suta, Sutam and Suta. And such repetitions bring beauty and aesthetic appeal to the Bhagavatam. But the two sutta are used, they're juxtaposed together, but the two suttas refer to two different things. Abhimanyu Sutam is one word, compound word which refers to the son of Abhimanyu, that is Parikshit. And Suta refers to Suta Goswami. Abhimanyu Sutam Suta Prahur Bhagavatottamam. So now, here we see Shaunak Rishi is not an uninformed questioner. He also knows. And he is telling his background, where he comes from, so that Suta can answer the questions accordingly. And he's saying that, yes, the question is, how will the two of them meet? Parikshit and Suta. Now he's telling, he's given some background of Shuka, and now he's giving some background of Parikshit also. So Prahur Bhagavatottamam. It is said that about Prahu, it is said about him, he was a Bhagavatottamam. He was the topmost of the Bhagavatas. Tasya Janma Mahascharyam. And he was not just a great devotee, but his whole life, his birth itself was Mahascharyam. How his birth was amazing, greatly amazing, that will be described later in the Bhagavatam. The Lord himself intervened to protect him. Karmani cha grunihinaha. And his activities are also karmani cha, they are also wonderful. So grunihina. So please tell us about that also. So while telling about the meeting how the meeting took place between these two great people, please tell us about how he was, how his birth and activities to do. Two. स सम्राट् कस्य वा हेतुः पाण्डूनां मानवर्धनः प्रायोपविष्टो गङ्गायाम् अनादृत्याधिरात् श्रियम्. So, Samrat, such a person, he was a great emperor. Kasyava Heto, that's person who had sovereignty over the whole world. Kasyava Heto, with what intention, with what objective? Panduna Manavardhanaha. He who was actually enhancing the glory of the Pandu dynasty, Panduna Manavardhana. Prayopavishto. So he sat and fasted. So this Praya Vrata is a Vrata of fasting to death. So why did he took that Vrata? Upavishto. Ganga, yeah, went close to Ganga. Anadritya dhirat shriyam. Anadritya. Anadritya means, so in one sense, Adar is to respect, Adar is to disrespect. So here it is used not in the sense of disrespect but neglect. He had royal opulences. And why did he give up those royal opulences? Adhirat Shriyam. Adhirat, which he had acquired the kingdom. Shriyam, with great opulence. Normally, if somebody has a flourishing business, then that person will give up the business for some greener prospects. But if suddenly that person has a big business and the business depends on that person, why would such a person give it up? He's asking this question about Parikshit. Namanti yatpadniketam Shivaya hani adhanani shatravah katham savirah shriyamangadusthyajam yuvai shatotsrashtum aho saha subhi. So namanti yatpadniketam niketam. So unto his feet others would bow down. Atmanaha, his own feet. So he's analyzing, okay, why would a king leave the kingdom? Is it that someone else conquered the kingdom and this king had to flee to save one's life? No, it's not possible. All the other kings would bow down to him. Namanti yatpadniketam Shivaya hani dhanani shatrava. So they recognize him to be so powerful that they would offer tributes, even even his enemies would come and offer tribute. Why? Because they knew that he was such a Shivaya. It was not because of force that they would offer. They knew that he was such a great king that by surrendering to him, it would be for their own benefit. Katham savirah shriyamangadusthyajam. So Katham savirah, such a veer, such a great hero, Shriyam. He had opulence, he was heroic. Anga is referring here to Sutta Goswami. Dusthyajam. So such a Shriya, wealth is very difficult to renounce. Yuva, he is in full youth. It was not even that, yes, kings are expected to renounce the world when they become elderly, that they take the Vanaprastha, but he was doing it in Yuva. And Aishata. So these are all desirable things which he had. Utsrashtum means he gave it all up. And then ahos, it's an exclamation of amazement. Saha shubhi. So why did he want to give up everything, including his life? So he's talking about the various qualifications of Parikshit, which in one sense the previous verse talked about his spiritual qualification, that he was Bhagavatottamaha. Now this text is talking about his a few verses ago the spiritual qualification we talked about. Now this is talking about his material position and material qualification. Enemies were bowing down to him. He was young, he was wealthy, he had long life before him. And why would such a person renounce the world? It's the most unlikely of events. Normally, say if a cricketer is at the top of the sports and is not even old, maybe the cricketer just started playing at the age of 17, 18 and has come to the peak by 25, 26, and then that is not the time when anyone retires. When people go to 35 or 40, when their performance starts going down and their energy level starts going down, then that is the time they retire. But if it's someone at the age of 25 or something, then one will not retire at all. So why did he retire at such a time? This question is something which naturally will come to a person, and that is the question which is being asked here by Shukadev, by Sutta Goswami, by Shaunak Rishi. So 12th text. Shivaya lokasya bhavaya bhutaye yauttama shloka parayana janah jivanti natmarthamasau parashrayam mumoch nirvidya kutah kalevaram. So, not only, now further qualifications of Parikshit have been described, that when he was living, he was not living for himself. He was living for others. Shivaya lokasya bhavaya bhutaye. He was doing benefit, Shivaya, auspiciousness for the people. Bhavaya bhutaye. They were flourishing, that their material and spiritual development was going on well. Uttama shloka parayana janaha. And he was a person who was devoted to Uttama shloka. Jivanti natmartham. Now he is further talking that this is the general characteristic of those who are devoted to Uttama shloka. Jivanti natmartham. They do not live for themselves. Asau parashrayam. They live for others. Mumoch nirvidya kutah kalevaram. So when like this, when they are living for others, why would anyone want to actually give up one's body? So yes, if one is entangled and one wants to renounce, that is understandable. But if one is not, entangled, one is actually living for the sake of others. The Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita has told Arjuna that do not renounce the world, set an example for others. Lok sangraha. So that is what Parikshit was doing. So why would such a person renounce? 13th verse. Tat sarvam na samachakshva prushto yad iha kinchana manye tvam vishay vacham snatam anyatra chantasat. So tat sarvam na samachakshva. We know that you can samachakshva. You can clearly explain all this. Prushto yad iha kinchana. That you can, whatever you are questioned, you can explain all that. Manye tvam vishaye vacham. You can explain the meanings of words. Vishaye, the subjects, the import of the words. Snatam anyatra chandasat. You are fully acquainted except anyatra chandasat, some portion of the Vedas. So, okay, he's telling over here that in some of the Vedas, the recitation is considered very important. The potency is considered to be present in precise recitation of mantras. So that is one of the main differences between the Shruti and the Smriti. Shruti is heard, and the idea of hearing means that there is precise recitation that is required. Whereas Smriti is that which is remembered, and that indicates that one understands the import and then explains the meaning according to time, place, circumstance. So here he is asking Vishaye Vacham. We feel that you are quite qualified to explain the meanings of the subjects that we have discussed, that we have raised over here. And so we are asking you to speak. And your relative expertise in Chandasat, in the precise metric recitation of some sections of the Vedas, that is not important because that is not the relevant subject over here. So in some cases, so some of the Vedic sounds, especially the Rigvedic sounds, are considered to be like formulas. Now, to the extent the sounds are precisely recited, to that extent the power is present in them. But the Smritis, and especially the Bhagavatam, its essence is not in the precise recitation, it's in the semantic assimilation. Semantic assimilation means that one has to understand the meaning and convey the meaning. And so here the reference to Suta's disqualification is actually done to point out that it is to underscore that it is no disqualification, because this is a different subject. Now say somebody is speaking in physics, and within physics that person is say more into theoretical physics, then even if that person doesn't know about the latest applications that have been developed, and in terms of that person doesn't know how this particular application works, how that person is not an engineer. But if theoretical physics is being discussed, the engineering physics doesn't really matter at that time. So similarly, here it doesn't matter what exactly is happening in terms of Shukadeva Goswami not knowing a particular subject, because that is not relevant over here. And in general, if we want to understand and transform our lives, not just develop the power through recitations, precise recitation. The precise recitation can give us some power, but actually the real transformation of the heart happens when there is reorientation of our worldview, and that happens when there is assimilation of the worldview. So for that assimilation, a transmission of meaning is important, and that transmission of meaning is what Shaunak Rishi is assuring Sutta that you are qualified for doing that because you understood the meaning and you can convey that meaning to us. Thank you. We'll continue in our future discussions.